Alright, everybody. So, we're here to talk about One Piece. I didn't get to do it last week. Something came up. But we're here to talk about Water 7. This is a big one because a lot of people associate Water 7 with Enies Lobby as one conjoined thing. I'm not doing that. I'm going to talk about Water 7 specifically. And to be honest, I don't really know where Water 7 ends and Enies Lobby begins. But I'm going to cut it off when I feel like it, I guess. Let me pull up the facts right quick. Alright, Water 7 has 35 episodes. I figured it would be longer than that, if I'm going to be honest with you. So like I said, Water 7 is so big, I'm not really going to go into like scene by scene kind of thing. I'm going to give the general idea and then what stood out to me throughout Water 7. So Water 7, the Straw Hats decide the Going Merry needs repairs, and Water 7 is a huge shipwright island. And they meet a lady who talks to them about a sea train and stuff. That's before they get there, though. They get there, and Nami and Luffy and Usopp go to try and find a shipwright. Robin goes and does her own thing with Chopper. Zoro stays on the boat. And then Sanji goes to get cooking supplies. And while all that's happening, Robin goes missing. Usopp loses the Straw Hats' money to a group of gangsters called the Frankie family. Once Zoro and Sanji and Luffy find out about it, they go to the Frankie family's hideout to beat them up. But it turns out the leader of the Frankie family had already spent the money. And that is the Cyborg Frankie with the Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura hair. So it turns out the Mary's not repairable. They're like, you know what? Man, we can make repairs, but it's just gonna break because the bottom, the board that goes across the bottom, which I forgot, it's shot. It's not coming back. Y'all really just need to get a new ship. And Luffy agrees. And Luffy's like, you know what? The Mary's got us this far. And we love the Mary, but it's time we part with the Mary and get us a new ship. And Usopp is not having it. And Usopp and Luffy get into this fight. And then Usopp, like, legit challenges Luffy to a battle. And, like, honestly, top tier Usopp moment. Like, Usopp has one other moment that I can't mention yet. But this moment is one of the top Usopp moments, like top tier. And because he actually like low key holds his own against Luffy. I don't think Luffy was given 100% because it shows the end when Luffy decides that he's had enough. But the fact that Usopp was able to do that was pretty impressive. And Usopp ends up leaving the crew. And then I feel like I'm skipping ahead, but turns out Robin was kidnapped by a government agency known as CP9, where they obviously have some kind of dirt on her or something. But it causes the Straw Hats to question her loyalty, and they're really trying to figure out where she was. So they meet. The name of the guy who owns all the shipwright stuff, his name is Iceberg. And he ends up getting shot. And then you find out Robin's the one that shot him. And I want to say you find out here also that Frankie and Iceberg like grew up together. They weren't stepbrothers, but they grew up. They did grow up together. And by a guy named Tom, and he was like the greatest shipwright of all time. He made Goldie Roger's ship, and he had blueprints to like the ship that, especially like the best ship of all time. And it turns out that is what CP9 is after. They're led by this guy named Spandam, who he's a pretty good villain. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of my favorite One Piece villains, probably. Here in Water 7, though, Usopp does don the name Sniper King as a way to help the Straw Hats without, like, without apologizing. Somehow, Frankie ends up finding Usopp and deciding he's gonna help him replace the Mary. And here, ooh, this is in Water 7. Yes, this is in Water 7. Here you find out Usopp tells Frankie the story about Skypiea, about him seeing the person fix the Mary. And he's like, I swear I saw him fixing it. Like, I swear they even said something. And that's where you find out that, like, ships in this world are, like, technically alive. And they have, like, a spirit. And, like, the Mary, like, manifested into the spirit and was, like, actually repairing herself. And that's what Usopp saw. So I was like, oh, dang, that's kind of crazy. Like, the world is just, like, it's so interesting. And, like, once a year or something, this giant water storm happens. And the whole town's being flooded. And they're moving Robin from Water 7 to Enies Lobby via sea train. And somehow Sanji sneaks aboard. And Usopp and Frankie get on board. Luffy and Zoro and Chopper, Nami. Is that everybody? They have to board a different sea train that lady that I said that they met earlier knew about, and Iceberg knew about. Iceberg didn't die from the shot. So literally so much. That's like it's like kind of the whole thing, but it's like not. There's so much in Water 7. Big things that stood out to me was the Mary. Like I said, the Mary having a spirit. I know when CP9 showed up, I guess that was when they showed up to shoot Iceberg and they made Robin do it. Like, that scene of, like, CP9 taking out everyone was pretty brutal and, like, pretty scary. Like, dang, these people are something. And I think it's revealed here in Water 7 that there's, like, the five powers. Let me look them up right quick. Oh, a 6. So it's the finger pistol, the shave, the Tempest Kick, I forgot what the Tempest Kick, Iron Body, Moonwalk, and Paper Arts. I don't remember that one. Other standouts is Frankie is introduced here. Wasn't a super big fan of Frankie, actually. I'm like, this guy's like kind of, I don't know. I've grown to like him though. But at first, like, I'm like, a lot of people really like Frankie, and I don't really like him here. But you do grow on him. The Usopp versus Luffy, like I said, was huge. I thought it was stupid though. When I unpacked my thoughts on that, I thought Usopp was being way too pathetic. Like, you have these shipwrights saying, hey, this ship is not going to make it. I get it. Usopp has emotional ties to the ship, being Kaya gave it to him. But, like, for the betterment of y'all's journey, like, y'all have to get a new ship. And I thought he was being whiny. I thought he was being pathetic during that whole fight. Like, I know a lot of people got emotional, like, oh no, Luffy versus Usopp, and like tearing up and stuff. But I was like mad at Usopp. I'm like, dude, Usopp, like, it's not that serious. Like, it is serious and it's sad, but like, dude, chill out. And, like, Luffy's the captain, and Zoro gives a heck of a speech. I thought Usopp just needed to be slapped. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that felt that way. I know I get it's emotional to everyone else, but dang, it annoyed me. Like, the biggest standout is the mystery around Robin. I don't want to give it away here because I don't remember if it was revealed in Water 7 or in Enies Lobby, her whole backstory. But it's there. But the big mystery of where did Robin go? Is she bad? Why is she doing this? Is like, oh, so good. I do have some fan casts. I tried this once before. No one really said anything, but I think live action. I don't know who could be Frankie. To me, the Straw Hats have been played by like lesser known actors, and I feel like it's better that way. Although Rob Lucci, though, I was thinking Jared Leto. I know it's like probably the most obvious thing, but I feel like Jared Leto could be good at that. I feel like I did have another one. I don't know if this is a fan cast because I don't even know what she's doing nowadays. But the chick, can't remember her name, the CP9 chick, when she was playing Secretary, she reminded me of Felicity Smoke from Arrow. If I had to cast Iceberg, I think it'd be cool to see John Krasinski. I was thinking about that the other day. Because he's like, John Krasinski's chill, Iceberg was chill, and like, John Krasinski can be grittier because of Jack Ryan and stuff. Like, he can play the action role, but he's mainly just kind of chill and nonchalant. I think John Krasinski could be good at that. It really just depends on what age you want him and Frankie to be. What do y'all think about Water 7? It's huge. There's so much you can talk about in Water 7. I don't even know if I'm ending it where I need to end it. I think I did, because I mean, like I said, everyone's like on the sea trains heading towards Innie's lobby, and that's where I'm gonna cut it off, I guess. Like I said, next time I did have notes for Innie's lobby, so I'm gonna be interested to see how my review goes while I have notes. Albeit I wasn't taking notes as detailed as I am now when I was watching it, because I'm like, oh, I can take notes. I don't really know what to take notes of. And I think the more I've like watched One Piece, like the longer my notes have gotten, because it's huge. The whole story is just like, so. And like, yeah. What y'all think? This video is 18 minutes long, so yeah. Leave me your comments below. I'm currently still in Dressrosa. I'm gonna be here for a while, as I've said before. It's a long arc, so yeah. If you have any other questions about One Piece on my journey or something, leave them below, and I'll see y'all next time.